Hey everyone, this is a new series that I want to start on this channel where I discuss all of the films in a certain director's filmography. It's a lot of fun to watch all the movies of someone that you're already a fan of. If you go back all the way to the beginning of someone's career and follow it all the way to the end, you can really gain some insight into their directorial style, some common themes throughout their work, and if you watch with the right frame of mind, you can learn something about the historical time period which the movie was released. So I want to kick off this series by starting with one of my favorite directors, Stanley Kubrick. One thing that's true with all of his movies is that they stay with you. They get in your head and you remember them. And that is definitely true of his directorial debut, Fear and Desire, which came out in 1953. Because this was his first feature movie, all the funds for it just came from family and friends. He didn't have a big studio backing him or anything. And the crew, including actors, from what I read, was only like 15 people. So he got $10,000 together and 15 people and set out into the woods to make this low-budget, indie, psychological war drama. And, you know, indie isn't a word you would associate with a lot of Kubrick's films, but it is cool to see the humble beginnings of one of the most famous directors. He didn't even have all the proper equipment. Like, for example, to do tracking shots, he didn't have a dolly or anything for the camera, so he just used a baby carriage, put the camera on that, and rolled it around, which works. I've been on a small movie set before where if you're the camera guy, you're holding the camera, and they put you in a wheelchair, and someone else can wheel you around. It's the same effect. It's a good indie film approach. It's very 90s. You know, it's like Robert Rodriguez kind of thing.
How do you make a cheap movie? Look around you. What do you have around you? Take stock in what you have. Your father owns a liquor store. Make a movie about a liquor store.
Kubrick took a big risk to make this passion project because he believed in himself and believed in the project. Did it pay off? In the short term, the movie was not a financial success, and he had to take other directing for hire roles to support himself. But some of the money he used to fund his next movie. So maybe in the long run, obviously this was an important step. But in the short term, this didn't, grow his bank account significantly. I watched it 2 or 3 times, and each time I watched it, I liked it more and more. I began to appreciate the real low-budget indie feel to it. So what's this movie about? Well, in short, it's about these 4 soldiers who are stuck behind enemy lines, and they have to make their way home. Nothing too complex about that. But this is Stanley Kubrick we're talking about, so it's got layers, like an onion, like an ogre. At its heart, this is an anti-war movie, and that's something Kubrick has shown other times too, like Full Metal Jacket, Dr. Strangelove. It doesn't show war as some grand adventure that one undertakes for patriotism and his own sense of duty. Instead, it shows the psychological and physical damage that war can inflict on people, both soldiers and civilians, internally and externally. Adding to the psychological tone of this movie, it starts off with a voiceover that kind of reminds me of The Twilight Zone. It could be like a Rod Serling kind of introduction.
There is war in this forest, not a war that has been fought, or one that will be, but any war. And the enemies who struggle here do not exist unless we call them into being. This forest, then, and all that happens now, is outside history.
Another example of the psychological aspect is that towards the end of the movie, the 2 main guys that we're following, they attack 2 of the enemies in this house, and the 2 enemies are played by the same actors who are attacking them. That was probably done for budget reasons, like, why hire more people if you can just dress up the main guys in black and frame them differently? You can't see who it is. But besides the budget reasons, it does add this interesting psychological aspect to it. Could be referring to the damage they're inflicting on themselves or something. Something else I wanted to note about this movie was the camera and editing work. There are 2 main types of shots used throughout the movie, 2 types of different ways to frame the characters and the action. The first one I want to mention is the medium shot or the tight medium shot. The first time I watched the movie, I thought the excessive use of medium and tight medium shots was just due to the low budget aspect of this production because, let's be honest, some of these look like they're pretty easy to set up. You just, turn the camera on, point and shoot kind of thing. But the more I thought about it, I think it was intentional. It added to the isolated feeling of some of these characters and the, claustrophobia of being behind enemy lines. You never got any shots that were like these big, grand shots where you can see all the scenery and the set work. No, it's just like these people, they're trapped. They're trapped in the woods behind enemy lines. Another type of shot that was used frequently throughout this movie was the extreme close-up. And that's a type of shot where the camera is framed like this, like it's right on their face. You can see all the sweat and grit in the actor's face. And as far as a character goes, it helps you get inside their mind. You can get a better idea of what's going on in their head. And these close-ups also work very well because these actors are great. They're really good at making expressions and selling what's going on. Speaking of extreme close-ups, they weren't always just used for the actors. There was this one scene where the soldiers attacked this enemy house, and as they were shooting the bad guys and they were falling over and dying, instead of showing blood and guts and gore, they showed the food that they were eating spilling onto the floor, which kind of looked like blood and guts and gore, but it's not. That probably served two purposes. One, to get around censorship in the 50s. I don't know how tight things were back then as far as blood and gore were, but it also serves, works as a metaphor, a creative device. Like, you don't see the violence, but you know what's going on. This was, again, probably for budget reasons, but I like the way the raft they built to go down the river looks just like some shitty raft that you would throw together if you were behind enemy lines and didn't have many materials. It wasn't like the raft from that show Lost where they threw it together and like this was a really professional looking boat you built. No, this was just like some sticks you guys tied together. There were some really interesting shots where the blocking of the actors and the action taking place in the frame was very meticulously planned. One of the best examples of this I could find was the shot towards the beginning of the movie where you can really see the relationship between each character and where they stand regarding each other just based off how they're blocked within the frame. For example, the highest ranking soldier is the best dressed one, and he's wearing a black leather jacket, while the other two are dressed in a typical soldier's uniform. And in the background, not even paying attention to what's going on, is the one soldier that, if you see the movie, he loses his mind and goes crazy, and he's not wearing a helmet like the other two. And this is a nice little way to establish just a little something about each character right from this one shot at the beginning of the movie. You get to learn a little something about him. My favorite character was the one soldier guy who completely loses his mind. This character and the actor's performance are some of the most memorable things about this movie to me. This dude is great at playing someone who's been away from home for too long, has seen too much of war, and has completely lost his marbles. At times, this performance gets uncomfortable, which is the point.
If you have to hate me, please try to like me also.
Dead. Dead. Now do you understand?
There was also a really cool point of view shot from the peasant girl they captured and tied up to the tree. Man, that shot is scary.
I'm beating you. Don't scowl. Watch. I'll make you laugh. Look, I'm the general.
Mental illness and insanity and going completely off your rocker were part of Kubrick's style from the very beginning. Besides the one soldier guy who loses his mind, I think my other favorite character was the soldier named Mac.
Come on out of your tent, you half-witted cannibals!
Mac becomes the embodiment of disillusionment towards war and conflict in general. He gives this pretty emotional speech about why attacking them and trying to kill the general there means something to him, because he feels like he has nothing left to live for back home.
Here I am. I'm 34 years old. I've never done anything important. Nothing. When this is over, I'll fix radios and washing machines, and they'll say, "Good boy, Mac." That's all.
It made me think he's like a proto version of one of those literally me characters. Like, I don't know, like the Joker from that movie, or the guy from Blade Runner, or the guy from Drive, or, that stuff.
What are you living for anyway? To make talk? Why? Why is your life so precious?
Would I recommend you watch this movie? Yes, I would. And it's only an hour long. It's like an hour and 10 minutes maybe. So it's really not that hard to get through. It's still very watchable considering it was filmed a long time ago. Because sometimes, I know it sounds kind of weird to say, but like some older stuff just doesn't hold up as well. It's like the editing is too slow for us, or the way they talk, you can't relate to it. But this did hold up. I found myself relating to some of the characters and was pretty engaged throughout the whole thing. Cool thing is that this whole movie has been uploaded to YouTube, and I will put the link to it down in the description, or if you don't want to go there, you can just search For Your Desire and it will show up the full movie. If you're interested, go check it out. I would recommend that you do so. Well, until next time, if you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate it. And I don't know. Bye.